How yous going? Listen, most individuals call me rock. It's only a label to keep them comfortable. But really, honestly, how can I label myself when I'm changing every second, every minute of the day? Now, this is me, whatever I am. I mean, I haven't figured it out, and I never will figure it out. I've looked over the years, and I've done law, and it's usually fighting over this stuff, it's called cannabis, and most people say you shouldn't have it, but really at the end of the day, who is anybody to tell me, a living creature, which is undescribable, what I can do? Especially the law, which, law, as far as I know, is just a bunch of words. Right? That's all it is. It's just words. Words written on a piece of paper. Now, why should the living let the words control them? It doesn't make sense. Because, I don't know about you, but I've never seen a living word. Show me one living word. If anyone can show me a word that changes. Now, a word is written down on a piece of paper. That's all it is. It's a piece of paper. It's like, see, pure hemp. Right? Over here it says hemp embassy. Right, there's words. This says scan disc. There's words, all words. But it isn't me, because I'm sitting here. Now in law, what they try to do is make me a word. Now, once I become a word, then I'm a fiction in their terms. And a fiction isn't real, so as a fiction isn't real, then we can do whatever we want to that fiction. This is what they do. Now, the way they get you to be a fiction is be a word in any way, shape or form. A birth certificate, which, I was born, so they say. All living animals are born. But yet, they've got this birth certificate. Well, it's somebody else's. It's not my document. So, if I say I'm a document or a bunch of words, then I'm stealing someone else's intellectual property right. And then saying I am a document is fraudulent, because everyone can see that I'm alive. It's just like this plant's alive, Everything's alive. So in court, it works like that. In court, they want your most precious, valuable energy that you have, and that's your time, which is energy. And what you do with your time and energy is the most important thing that they want. Because without your time and energy, who's writing the story? Right? Because I'm the author of my own book, and it's up here. All my thoughts, everything I see, everything I hear, everything I speak, everything I feel, all comes from here, all the way down. One big chemical lab. That's what I am. That's what I am. My own author. Now, however, the government, or corporations, or business, or a bunch of words, or something that's dead, wants to control and get my energy, because with my energy I then create more bunches of words and keep it going and growing and growing and growing. But me, I'm not interested in their bunch of words, because they're using it to deceive people. They're saying it's to help people, but really in law it's to trap you. They use words like person, Oxford Dictionary, person, from the Latin word meaning persona. Persona is an actor's clay mask. In law, there's an artificial person that's bound by duties and responsibility. I don't want to be that. No way. I'm alive, see? Can't explain me. And then you've got man. A man is a person, which is an unincorporated corporation, Black's Law Dictionary, first edition. And then you've got human. The human is a man, and the human is a person, and the person is a human and a man. Right, well, that is a lower form of species bred for the state. Ballandine's Law Dictionary. Don't ask me what edition. My memory isn't that good. So, these are the words they use, because don't forget, all law says a person must do this. So, if you're not a persona, or a man, or a human, then you're not bound to these laws. Now, realistically, people think they're a bunch of words. Now, honestly, we're alive. One organism. Right, when you look down to it, it's a whole heap of cells that individually get together to make up me. When you got energy on top of it, then you got water in it, and then you got minerals, and that's basically what I am in a nutshell. But it gets complicated with the amino acids, right? And I'm alive, and I change, and I grow. I'm just going on my merry way. However, the law wants to put me in a box and say I'm a label. Well, as soon as you're a label, you're controlled by something. You control it, or something is controlling you as soon as you're a label. Right? And the court turns around and says you're a birth certificate, which is untruth. Right? Now, if you stand to your truth and say you're not a bunch of words, then they are bound to serve you, because I've never met a word that's not here to serve all living things. The word stop, well, that's here to serve me, Go, that's here to serve me, Cannabis, that's here to serve me. Oil is here to serve me. Everything's here to serve me, not abuse me. So we're all here to serve, right? But however, the court's trying to abuse me. The court's trying to turn around and saying that I'm the servant, the birth certificate. Because really, honestly, the birth certificate serves me, the living creature. See? It serves me. Right? That word serves me in business. When I'm doing business, I need the birth certificate. Right? And that's what it basically is for the commercial or contract law. Now, there was 3 laws that we had. Right? The first one was the law of the land. Well, we don't have that anymore because the law of the sea, or Noah, squashed it. Now, along came the Pope in the 13th century. I just read the document again. The 13th century. He basically says that he has to own everything for humanity's salvation. Well, that's great, but lucky I'm not a human, because according to them, it's a monster or a lower form of species. That sort of thing. A fiction. That's what a human is. Whoa. Me not a fiction. Well, no way. Anyway, so this is what they've done. They've used these words to trap people. Now, when we talk common language, we go up and we call a man, how you going, man, and things like that. We're talking to the individual, right? Well, they've turned around and mirrored it. But when they've mirrored it, it's a word, and it's usually the opposite on a mirror. And this is what they've done to us. They've created this mirror called the birth certificate. It's supposed to be an image. Really, it's not me. And as soon as I say it is me, then, well, I'm lying, aren't I? And that's how the whole foundation of the law works. It works on you saying you're a bunch of words. You saying you're a label. You saying you're a name, right, in any way, shape or form. As soon as you do that, you are saying you've stopped growing. Because the word dog, it stopped growing. If you put an S on it, well, it's no longer dog, is it? It's dogs. So it's a different word completely, isn't it? Right, and that's the same. All words stay the same. All words are written down on a piece of paper, black and white, in law. Right? And there's a war going on, as far as I know, between black and white. Right? It's between white pieces of paper and black writing. Right? That's what the true war is about. It's not between colour, because we're all the same, no matter what. We cut ourselves, we bleed. Right? We all eat. We all have feelings. We all have relationships with the same sex or the opposite sex, depending on our beliefs and what we like. We're all part of the creation. We're all one. Right? But we're different vibration than the words. They're written down and they're not the same as me. And if I don't make the separations between words that are written down and the vibrations I speak, then I'm going to get myself into trouble. Many times the court system has tried to say I'm crazy, I'm loopy, but I'm still free. They've tried to get me to do a psych evaluation. I'm not interested in it. Because why? I know I'm not crazy. The moment I think I'm crazy, then I have to wonder, But if I'm healthy, I'm not harming anyone, then what is the problem, Everyone turns around and labels someone something. As soon as they label it, we assume this is what they mean. Well, words written down and labels just aren't doing us any good. And in court, they get us into so much trouble. Now, King James Bible, right, it is the law. Whether I like it or not, this is what I found out, the King James Bible. And basically, the red-lettered version is the best or preferred version if you want to know how to get the keys of the commerce God. That's Lord God in chapter 2.4. because Lord God and God is two different identities, because it's got more letters and more words. But if God gave man free choice, then why is this Lord God trying to lord it over man when God gave man free choice? And if man is, according to the dictionary, like I said before, an unincorporated corporation, then that doesn't explain me either. Right? And, you know, no matter where I touch in the back here, I can't explain myself. Really, I can't truly explain myself because I can't see it. And even the space in here, you know, some people say I've got brains and other people say I've got nothing in between. You know, who knows? But, you know, what's inside? And when you die, you pass away, well, it's 21 grams or something like that. There's a bit of a weight that just disappears. What is it? Well, if I can't explain what I am, then I come under this image or word that's called God. Because God you can't describe. God is everything. And what's everything? Who knows? So, when you go into court, if you realise the basic principle that you're changing and you're evolving all the time, that you're not a bunch of words, then when you go into court, you realise that they bind themselves to a bunch of words, and then what happens is they're there to serve you, the living. But you've got to let them know you're alive, because they're trying to think you're a bunch of words, right? Which isn't truth. You know, anyone who says they're a name or has a name is, well, it's not being honest, right? It's a vehicle for me, if you want to look at it. It's a vehicle so I can get into, use the world, but it's not me. There's a separation, right? There's a separation between me and the fiction. You know, when you see this, remember, it's a fiction. It's not real, because I'm sitting here. What you're seeing is an image, and that image isn't quite correct in what happened around at the time that I was sitting here. So, you know, that's the same as the court. The court is a mirror image. Remember, when you wave your right hand in the mirror, it puts its left hand up. And that's the same as the court. You know, if you don't let them know you're alive, then they assume that you're a word. They assume you're the piece of paper. You know, and that's how simple it is. You know, life is great, life is good. But if I think I'm words, then I'm in trouble. I really am, you know. And the court system, look, I've had judges run out on me. I've had 3 Supreme Court judges in Queensland run out on me. And the prosecutor said I didn't want to play the game when I asked him what happened. Right? And basically, I've had other judges run out. I've had a magistrate run out because a prosecutor or a prostitute, either one, I don't care, turned around and touched me, and I sang out, "You're assaulting a living, breathing man. You're assaulting an unincorporated corporation." That's what a man means. Right? And basically, magistrate took out. She ran. Oh, she was pretty good, but she was only a magistrate. And that was in Roma Street in Brisbane. And, you know, then I had one Supreme Court judge in Queensland, which really, really nailed the coffin on their box, right, terminology, is that when a Supreme Court judge asked me to submit, when I refused to be a name except for the witness. I witnessed to the events of what happened. That's all I was, a witness. I wasn't a name on the birth certificate. I was just a witness to the events of what happened. And then he had to protect me. He couldn't deal with me and all the rest of it. So then, you know, because I was standing in my own truth. Right? And that's the thing. Now, I learnt that time when he ran out and asked the barrister who was supposedly worked for me, and they never do work for you, they work for the Crown first, right? He asked me to submit to the judge. First of all, he said, "What did you do to the judge?" I said, "I'm used to him running out," because I had 3 Supreme Court judges run out on me earlier when I asked them for their, basically, their authority to address me. Because if I didn't give them their authorship or authority to address me, then they have no rights. And it took Alpha in a hurry, and then they sent their guards to come and grab me. Lucky I wasn't there, eh? Lucky I wasn't the birth certificate that day. Otherwise, they would have locked me up. But anyway, back to the Supreme Court judge. Now, he asked me to submit. Now, I've been locked up for 4 main times where it's been over 15 days and over. All right, 4 times that's happened to me. And every time they locked me up, they never asked me to submit when I said I was a birth certificate name, or of the family, you know, or this label, or that label. You know, they always locked me up when I was that label. But when I turned around and said, look, I'm flesh and blood and bone, to say my name is lies and deceit, that's straight out of the red-lettered version of the King James Bible. And, you know, that's who you say I am, same Bible. You know, they have a confusion because they're not sure whether I'm a Mr. Rock, a Mr. Till, or whatever this man's name is. He's getting bail. You know, and even as I'm just about to get out of the door, they still have a pissing competition with me, trying to get me to accept to being a word. And I won't, refuse to. Because to do and say that I'm a word, then they're going to crucify me. Because that's what the birth certificate's created for. So it gets punished. Well, that was the mentality to start off with, I believe. It's turned out that people have turned around and controlled people through it. You know, I don't like this, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but, you know, this is the way it is. And I'm going to say peace be with you, and love to you and you. Thank you.